Hey everybody. Today I'm going to do a product review or demonstration, whatever you want to call it, of the Presonus Faderport. I just got this thing a couple weeks ago and I'm still getting used to it and playing with it, but I've got to say it's probably one of the coolest tools I've added to my studio in the last couple months. It really changed my workflow, made it a lot easier for me to get things done in a quick and efficient manner, and honestly it just makes mixing a lot more fun. So let me show you a little bit about what's going on with this thing over here. Basically what you have is a channel strip that maps to any channel strip inside of your DAW. You have the basic fader that will move the volume level inside your DAW. You have mute, solo, and record that will help out with whatever track it is that you're setting up to. You have bank buttons which move back and forth between your tracks. A pan knob which changes pan in real time, and then the output switch. And the output switch is one of my favorite things because what that does is it reverses the pan and the volume fader, which is pretty cool when you want to do a little bit more intricate pan automation to use the fader to do it. So the cool things about this fader here, it's a motorized fader, so you can see right here as I move through my different tracks, the fader moves itself to the position of whatever that track is, so that you can correctly start from that. It's also cool because whenever you write automation, it's going to follow that automation curve so you can see what you're doing. So it has 3 different modes here for writing your automation. You'll be able to see it on the screen when I bring it up. You can put it into read mode. That'll just read whatever automation you already have written. You put it into write mode. It automatically arms your track to write whatever automation you're trying to do. Touch mode is just another different form of writing automations, and I'll probably do a whole nother tutorial eventually on all the different automation modes. And then again, you can turn it off so that you're done and don't have to see it anymore. The next little area here is another cool thing. It shows you some transport stuff. This is a little bit more useful when I'm using it with Pro Tools because the transport gives you the full transport bar, which is something in Reaper that I always have open. It's not really a floating thing for me. The mix button switches back and forth between your mixer view, which you can see here, and your timeline view, which is super useful whenever you are mixing on the fly and you want to see some different angles on what you're working. And then you have an undo redo button, which I use some, but considering Control Z, you already have that on your keyboard. That one I found to be a little less useful than some of the others. You have a shift key, which shifts, and you can see some of the different functions it does down here, things that'll take you all the way to the end of a project, or just gives you some different functionality on the existing keys. Then you have some stuff for doing punch recording or regular recording, and then the loop button is one that I find really useful as well because you can put your whole thing into loop mode. It's a lot more useful than getting in here with the mouse and clicking that. Keyboard modifier is nice to have as well, but having those things there so you can do all your work in one area is really nice. So the fader itself, it has 1,024 different steps to it. So it makes it super accurate for tracking. You see I'll highlight my master here and move it. As I move the fader, it's really, really accurate and really distinct as I move it up and down, which is really useful for getting like that exact movement. And one of the things I really like it for, and maybe this is just a I don't know what the word that I'm looking for is. Maybe it's just more aesthetic, or I don't know, but I like that I can close my eyes and set the volume of a track without paying attention or without grabbing my mouse and grabbing something. I can select the track that I want and work on it from there, and it just feels very intuitive. Another useful thing that I like about this guy is that you can write your own keybinds for these things. Like for example, I have my plugin parameter set to shift and timeline select. So whenever I do that, it's going to bring up my plugin dialog window, which you can see here, so that I can add plugins or manipulate the existing plugins that I have on a track, which has really helped out my workflow having that there. Another thing that I really like that you can do here is if you have a range of tracks, for example, I'm going to get over here to my mix view. Say I have a range of tracks that I want to work on, I can grab these here. The fader maps itself out to the last one in the range, but now they all move collectively as a group. So you can see I'll solo all these out here. As I play it back, you'll see that the fader moves everything up and down in tandem and moves those things and keeps their relative positions within your mix. So while grouping faders is nice, you can accomplish that same thing by grouping faders. You can also do it by grabbing a selection that may or may not be grouped and moving them in tandem together, which I find super useful. So overall, this thing has been probably one of the better purchases I've made in a long time. It's really enhanced my workflow here in the studio. It's really kind of changed the way I approach my projects, and most importantly, it's gotten me off the mouse, which is really nice because, you know, you spend so much time on the mouse, you end up getting, you know, those carpal tunnel things going on. It's just a whole lot of things that can really be a drag about working in a digital environment. So this is one of those things that helps bring you back to a more analog feel. It gives you a little bit more control over your DAW, and it's something I'd recommend picking up. So I'll probably have some links to it here in the description, maybe here in the video if I'm not lazy, and hope you guys get a chance to check this thing out because it's really awesome. Take it easy.